Hello everyone, Justin here. We're back with another video. This is number 8 video, and it's on the law of transmutation of energy. It's a really cool one. It's one that I really enjoy. I really practice a lot with horses in the micro and in the real world and the macro. It's an important one. So I'm going to try to simplify it for you to where you can just learn it by default. It'll happen. It's a really interesting law for the simple fact that you are already doing this. This law is rigged in your favor, but I want to show you how to consciously become aware of it, especially in practicing becoming a better horseman, becoming a better person. This law is really a beneficial one. So let's get started. Again, I'm Justin Dunn, American Mustang School. I asked my Mustang Whiskey to help me with this video. He's probably going to go to sleep because he likes it when I start talking, and he can just hang out. So that's good. Why are we doing this? These laws, why do we need to know them? Well, I'll say again, as in other videos, it's to learn the game of life and how to not get hurt and how to benefit from knowing these laws and playing the game of life. I happen to have accountability partners that are horses, and I get to learn these laws, practice these laws, and see in a micro scale what the benefits are and then how to not get hurt. I practice becoming better. I want to manifest these things into reality so that my horses' lives are enriched, my life is enriched, and anyone I come into contact with, their lives will be enriched. You know, that's the common goal, that's the purpose. So again, we want to develop an awareness. Horses help us do that. Whatever I think I am and I present to the horse, I get to observe what I am through the horse's perspective. It's an interesting thing. You know, we practice these laws of nature to bring us up into a higher level of consciousness. And as we go through these videos, I hope it's starting to paint a real pretty picture of what you can think and do to become what it is you want. And you can create the circumstances you want in this life. And it's just becomes such a more beautiful experience. You know, whatever your beliefs are will dictate your experience in this life. And we don't get much time here on earth. And I really want it to be the best for myself, for my horses, for everyone. I definitely want it for you. Otherwise, I wouldn't learn these things, try to really present something that you could use tangibly for reward in your life if it didn't mean so much. You know, it's part of the give and take, which we're getting ready to go into. So I want to kind of stress one thing about this law, transmutation of energy. You want to have the ability to recognize what you're thinking and feeling at any given time in the inner, and then change it, present outward. That power right there alone will give you, you know, the understanding of law of transmuting energy. You know, if you're in a mindset of fear, we'll say I'm riding this horse and something happens outwardly, an outside influence caused me to sink into fear. I don't want to be there because I don't want to present that to my horse and have him become fearful. So I'll have the ability to transmute that same energy into courage, into confidence, into love, into tranquility, into flow, into self-discovery, self-mastery, and reap the benefits of the enlightenment experience that you'll get by ascending into a higher level of consciousness, presenting that to your horses, enjoying being there, and developing what I want to call your attention to right this second is relationship. A relationship to everything, anything and everything. I mean, literally the food you eat, the water you drink, the people you meet, they're all a relationship. In the micro, this relationship with he and I, the relationship with that halter and lead rope and how I utilize that to communicate with him. He's going to think in association of me and that lead rope and halter. It's a change, and he's aware of it. If I go get a bitless bridle with no metal bit, and I show it to him, There should be no negative change. It should only be a free-flowing, positive change, if any. What I like to see in my horses, in which I'll pause what the show's about and let you recognize this one thing. Whatever they're reflecting in their body, that's what they're thinking in their mind. So I don't want any restrictions in their mind of fear, doubt, confusion, anxiety, causing tension into their body, which is reflecting what they're thinking. So that is what I'm observing in my horses. And we're going to go into those things in another video. But transmuting energy is so powerful in creating what I expect from and with my horse. I want him in a calm, quiet mindset, a nice, relaxed body. I don't want to interrupt or irritate him in his natural flow inward and presenting outward to transfer information back and forth. So if I have the ability to transmute some energy, maybe I'm getting anxious and I'm watch a reflection in his body of what I'm presenting, and maybe I'm unaware of it. I have the ability to transmute that energy, boom, from anxiety to relax. Take a breath, draw in, exhale, relax the shoulders, relax the body. Takes 2 seconds, and then present again, and then he relaxes. And then we get this relationship of flow. That's where we're going. So we will follow the golden rule, of course. We trade places with the horse, treat them as we'd want to be treated if the roles were reversed, pretending that halfway through each session that we're together in this relationship, he gets to do to me what I've been doing to him. He gets to present to me what I've been presenting to him. That's the give and take. So if you go inward first and you align there, you're automatically setting up to be able to transmute energy very quickly, very efficiently, very effectively, to create the relationship that you desire, the relationship of willingness, wanting to give, wanting to receive. That is nature. Nature gives and receives perfect balance, gives reign to everything, regardless of any desires or needs or wants. It gives and then receives, and then the life cycle happens. So we present what we expect now and in the future. This law is always working. Whether we're conscious of it or not, it's always there, it's always working. It's actually rigged in our favor. But if we can comprehend it and consciously make an effort to utilize it to our advantage, present it to a horse that can give us instantaneous feedback to make changes and present again, and then really get a handle on these laws of nature, really get a handle on this law of energy transmutation. You know, what that means is, let me just back up a little bit. Transmutation of energy. We're going to take the same energy and we're going to use it at our will. We're going to use it for the positive. We're going to use it for the negative. It's the same energy. It doesn't change. You can't create it. You can't destroy it. It's there. It's a choice of how you use it. And it's developing this awareness that it's even there and how to use it. So what you give, you get. You know, if you want love, you be love. If you want whatever you want, it's the unseen things that are taking place. Inner, you consciously pay attention to what you're thinking and feeling inward and present in an attitude and an action outward. And then you gain a knowledge of what I spoke of in the book, the 4 things that we can control: thoughts, emotions, attitude, action. Now, people will say, oh, you can't control your thoughts. They pop in from wherever. That may be true. But what you can do is observe the thought as it pops in, and then you have a choice of what you want to do with that. That's transmuting that energy. I see something outward while I'm riding my horse. We'll just use an example. Maybe it's a trash truck, and it's making a lot of noise, and my horse looks over at it with some concern. But he looks at me at the same time because they have that ability. They can look at something out to their right and tip their head and look right at me. So it's like I can choose to allow that outside influence, the trash truck, to cause me some confusion or fear and present that to my horse. And then we can start to unravel this feedback loop that we've established. But if I use this law to transmute that energy of, okay, I see the trash truck. Yeah, it's causing me a little concern. However, I'm aware of that, but I'd rather come inward, align, use that same energy to present to my horse that it's just fine. We don't need to be concerned about that. It's just that simple. However, it takes practice. But once you gain that ability to do that, and you can effectively and efficiently, without doubt, have the confidence to do that anywhere you are, whether you're riding on the beach, in the mountains, through a neighborhood, at an airport, you name it, it doesn't matter, because you've developed the ability to transmute this energy of fear, confusion, doubt, anxiety, low levels of consciousness into a higher level, courage. You can present to the horse that, hey, it's going to be all right. I will present something to you to free up restrictions in your mind, tensions in your body, and then we can maintain this circular feedback loop of flow, a flow state, where he doesn't get off balance. It stays centered. And then we wash, rinse, repeat that. Each event gets easier and easier and easier. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So courage, when a horse sees that you have the courage to continue to help them, you're not taking something from them and keeping it. You're receiving information from them and then giving them something back that they can resonate with. Vibrational frequencies, we talked about that earlier. Breathing is a vibrational frequency. If I take in a deep breath and I give out, I am giving, receiving. It's so simple. Receiving air, giving out. There's information there. There's energy there. And when a horse feels that you're not short, shallow breathing, tense muscles, when the trash truck's there, presenting fear, now you haven't even said anything verbally, you're just presenting information and he's picking up on it based on your relationship. If you're consciously aware of this, as you've built this relationship, you can bend reality. You can literally say, okay, I was getting afraid of that. I choose to change it into courage. I'm going to present something to you out of love. That's a higher level of consciousness, because I want you to feel comfort when you're discomfort. That's giving. And then you will receive from him, the horse, on a micro assurance. He's going to follow your lead. He's going to relax. You just use the law of transmutation of energy to benefit him, yourself, giving, receiving, nurturing this relationship into something that is so much bigger than what most people even understand in horsemanship. But understanding these laws of nature will help you define the character you want to become, the character you want your horse to become in this relationship. So again, it's the unseen reality in the universe, in nature. That's what a relationship is. Your relationship to the horse, your relationship to that trash truck. If you're just observing life as it unfolds and you're in a willingness to receive and give, you're already doing law of energy transmutation by default. You're actually there. You just got to gain a consciousness to it, to where you can get ahead of it, where it's not ahead of you, you're ahead of it, so to speak. You're actually leading, you're creating. You're not living in the cause or the effect, you're living in the causation of things. You're like saying, I want to create and manifest, I want to think of this, manifest this, create this into a reality. And then you'll have one day, and it'll unfold before your eyes. However, it's gradual, but it's okay. That's the beauty of it. It's not like it's so fast you missed it. It's sweet. It's embraced. It's nurtured, and that's what we want. I developed the 5-part series to do this, to define this, to help people play with this, practice it. The best way to build confidence is prepare yourself and practice. So that 5-part series, I'll just go over it real briefly. I'll ask a horse to back up. I'll ask him to go to the left, go to the right. That's 2 and 3. They're interchangeable. Ask him to come forward. Ask him to ground tie. And it's kind of a stopping point where we can reset. We can free up tension in the mind, tension in the body, and both of us get to discover a depth of ourselves we didn't know. We get to discover a depth of the horse we didn't know. He gets to discover a depth of himself he didn't know in the human element. It's such a beautiful experience. Highly recommend 5-part series I speak of in my book. Anyway, as we develop this through the 5-part series and we learn about ourselves, we learn about our horse, we have an inner-outer understanding. We can go inner and recognize what we're thinking, what we're feeling, connecting the mind and the body, the brain and the heart. together to ascend into a higher level of consciousness. So here's where we're going to really transmute some energy. When I'm going into heart-based consciousness, when I'm feeling what's going on, it's not just my brain taking in information and I'm intellectually processing information. I'm actually going to connect my mind and my body, my brain and my heart, and I'm going to start feeling from the heart. If I can feel this heart in this horse, in my heart, I can get information, more information. I have the ability to ascend into a higher level of consciousness where he's more willing to give over because he knows where I'm coming from. I really care. The only thing this horse cares about in this relationship is how much I care about him. When I prove to him I care from the heart, I really want to understand this being. I really want him to understand me. That law of energy transmutation is so profound. And then when you practice it and you develop an ability to feel what this horse is feeling, and you go and you do the things you want to do, and you're on his back, and you're in so many different circumstances beyond understanding of what they'll be at this time. I mean, you will adventure into the unknown, fearless. Because when you're heart to heart feeling, you gather information that is accessible only in doing that. And then you can have the ability to transmute energy to your benefit, to not get hurt, to not allow your horse to feel like they'll get hurt. It is a beautiful thing. It is a little tough to explain because it is experienced better in the actual conscious contact with a horse doing these things. But you can get a good idea, just even at this video, of what I'm talking about. So you turn that low-level energy into a passion. So I make these videos for me so that I can watch them back, and then I can learn and grow from something later on in the future. But my passion is to discover. I want to know. I don't want to just know about. I want to know these laws of nature, how to implement them most efficiently and effectively, especially in my horsemanship, helping others in horsemanship, but my relationships in life with other people. I'm a life coach. I have all walks of life come through this gate, and they'll talk and tell me things, but my ability to go to a heart-based relationship with them, they may not even know it. I can see that they may be saying, oh, I feel fine. Oh, I'm doing great. But I can feel something beneath or behind that in the heart. And then I have the ability to nurture that at the level according to what they're capable of experiencing and learning. Same with the horse. I practice this with hundreds of horses all over the United States. Trauma cases, rejects, bad labeled horses, it doesn't matter. But whenever I go mind to mind is one thing. But when you go heart to heart, it's a whole new world. The horse may be stoic and telling you something, but whenever you go heart to heart and you can transmute energy and you can really recognize what that is when you're off center or they're off center, you almost get a sixth sense, as I speak of in my book, but you get a superpower, and it's available to everyone. Nature is ready and willing to give it to you. You just have to open your mind and your heart to it, to receive it. Give and receive, again, the relationship with you and nature. What is nature? What secrets are they hiding from? What is nature hiding from you? What are people hiding from you? When you go heart to heart, they can't hide it. It's something that you will feel in them, and then you'll have the ability to help them, truly help them. It's a giving, receiving thing. It's not a taking and keeping thing. What good is that going to do in a relationship? If I only take from this horse and I keep it, or I only take from this horse and I don't share it with you, what's the benefit? There's not. That's the game I'm trying to explain. That's why you want to know these laws of nature, so you can learn how to not get hurt, learn how to benefit. The benefit is learning to love. Give love, be loved. Give, receive love. That's a high level of consciousness. When you can look, like, ego will get out of the picture and you will gain a sense, and I'll just call it a sixth sense. You will learn how to suppress your ego and develop your sacred self. Every relationship you'll ever have will be loving. When you drink a glass of water, you will love drinking a glass of water differently when you ascend into a love consciousness. When you get on the back of a next horse and you transition from ego self, where I'm going to force compliance, I'm going to cause you to submit to me mentality, you'll ascend into that heart base where you love and you're asking, you're creating willingness in the horse, and you're willing to change for the horse. You're willing to change for yourself to become better, become stronger. It's a choice. It's the same energy. You just have to choose. So we'll attract it by being it. Whatever you want to attract, become that first, inner, present outer, you'll receive it back. That's the law of nature. It works that way. And then you give what you desire, and love will return back. That's just the way it works. So I'm going to change this board so I can keep following my notes, because the point of this is we want a new beginning. New beginnings are real important. This number 8, if we look at the number 8, it's balance. It's an ending or a death and a new beginning. It's a very cool number. It's the infinity loop. And it's one of those things where you can change energies, transition from where you are to where you want to be by changing energy, thinking in a different way, becoming what you want instead of being victim to what you don't want. We concentrate on what we want. We don't concentrate on what we don't want. Thinking in association of things, your energy will change. So I'll give you an example. If I was riding him and I knew that he was afraid of something, I'm not going to focus on that something. I'm going to focus on him, which will transmute that energy of fear of that, his fear of that, my fear of that, into each other, where he draws to me by default because it feels better. He doesn't want to fear something. He wants to be comfortable. And if I have the ability to push a button and say, hey, be comfortable when you're not, he's going to draw to me by default. Then it's going to reassure me that I'm on the right track. It allows me to gain a higher awareness of myself, which is self-discovery, eventually self-mastery, because once we practice this enough, we can master it. We can actually present to the horse what we expect at any given moment on a micro scale, me and him, he and I, and we're developing this relationship to where I can utilize this away from the horse in the real world. And I have multiple relationships with multiple people, and they'll be different, but they're all out of love. If the basis of what you're doing, like if you just ask yourself why or how, why, what's going on in this relationship? Am I taking and holding from this person, or am I giving, receiving from this person? That's what we practice with horses. It's a flow state in all areas of your life, your health, your wealth, your happiness, your relationships, your spirituality. Nothing is forced or taken. It's attracted to you. When you give, you get. And we ask why. Why do we want to even know this, Justin? And I'm just saying this for myself, because question everything, guys. Prove all things and hold on to what's good. Get rid of the rest. Simple as that. I make this video for myself, and I just appreciate that you watch. It's one of those things where if we learn love, we just learn that one thing. How to love, how to be loved. We can drop judgments. We can drop all the things we beat ourselves up about. And it's such a waste of energy to do that. Judging ourselves, beating up on ourselves, not worrying about what other people think. We really do that as a human. We come here and we start getting conditioned and programmed at a young age to care what other people think, what their opinions are about us. And then we really beat ourselves up, and that's a waste of energy. So if you learn this law, energy transmutation, you can look at something like that differently. Just a few degrees change in perspective, course correct to a whole new way of thinking, whole new way of being, a whole new life. So an opinion that somebody has about me today, I'm aware of it, but I don't let it affect my feedback loop with nature, with my horse, with nature. On a micro with my horse, on a macro with nature. I observe that in such a different way now. I can transmute, like if I start to feel anger, we'll just say that. Somebody says something or does something, I look at it and I judge it in a manner that causes me to feel anger. I'll recognize that I'm getting off center, and I can, in an instant, change that anger into courage, into confidence, into love. And I can recognize, okay, that's their ego. They're being guided by their ego. They haven't ascended into a sacred self, a higher self, conscious awareness of their self. And then you gain a superpower, because then they're attracted to you. They're like, wow, this guy, he really maintains a balance and stability. It's kind of interesting. A horse stable is where horses hang out. They're a very stable animal. They're a very stable creature. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I know. Flies are bugging us today. But that's okay. We can choose how we look at that. Everything has its purpose. And when we do things in a positive, we're going outward to help others, care for them. And that's a positive. A negative would be if we go inward and our selfish desires are taking over, we're getting greedy, we want to take it, or we want to force something to happen. That's going to be leaning negative. And it's tough not to put that into judgment. It's tough not to give that a value judgment of good or bad. It's just recognize and develop an awareness of what it is. Because we're humans, and we don't need to beat up on ourselves so much. We don't need to hold ourselves in so much contempt. We're here to try to figure this out. And it's gradual. It's not real fast. And as we do, it becomes sweeter and it becomes more enjoyable. And enlightenment is at the next bend. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's something that we experience. And yeah, do I still go into the negative? Yes. I'm not going to stand here and try to say, oh man, horses have helped me just ascend to the highest level of consciousness. I'm just this happy, loving little angel with wings flopping around. Oh, no. I'll sink into it. But each event that happens is so short-lived. It's not a place that's, I'm in anger for very long, or I'm in guilt for very long, or anything. In the lower level of ego. I realized very quickly, when I would allow ego to run things, horses, they kind of distance themselves. They're like, "No, man, you need to check in with yourself and see what you're presenting to me, and then be willing to change." So fortunate. I highly recommend video yourself with your horses, or just video yourself in a conversation with someone if they're willing. But it's a heart-to-heart energy is where we're trying to go. We're trying to really tap into a much higher level of conscious awareness, to where we can develop relationships that are meaningful and have value, and will create a beautiful, life enriching experience rather than take that. We want to create that. So give. How do we do this? So how do you do this to where it just happens by default? And I'm going to try to explain this where it's just real simple. When you give, it's not necessarily like I'm going to go physically give a gift to someone. It's not any kind of action I got to take. When you are in a giving mindset, when I start brushing this horse on level 1, I'm going to give my best. I'm going to come into this present moment, and I'm going to have best intentions. I'm going to give best effort. I'm going to have the best attitude. And I talk about that in the book, but I check in with myself. And how is Justin thinking? Has he been in a hurry for the last 12 hours? Well, okay, not giving it a value judgment of good or bad. Let's just recognize it for what it is and say, all right, I've been in a hurry. I've been, grooming the arena with my tractor. I've been chopping trees, cleaning brush and grading the road, and I've been in a hurry. I've been going fast. And sometimes even when I'm doing that, I'll have to slow down, consciously say, check in with yourself. Take a deep breath, drop your shoulders, give, take, relationship with nature, harmonize, get into agreement with nature. That way you're the most efficient and effective at doing whatever task you're doing, whatever you're doing. But bringing it to the horse in level 1, I'm grooming this horse, and I'm thinking in the present, I'm giving my best self. I'm giving my best. That is how you do it. That is how you give. That is how you open yourself, your mind, your body, your spirit, to balancing. Because when you're in that mindset of giving your best, having the best attitude, best intention, taking action toward creating something much better than what is, leaving yourself better than you found yourself in each session with your horse, and vice versa. Leave your horse better than you found him. That's what I'm talking about, giving. That'll help you transmute energy so quickly. because you're already in that state. That's what it is. It's a state of being. It's not, you're not doing something per se, or, like, oh, I got to go give this, tangible material item. That's not it. It's close, but that's more ego. The inner self, the sacred self, you want to give your best. You want to bring yourself up into an awareness of whatever you're going to do is going to be better than when it was before you gave any attention to it. That's what it is. That again, that heart-to-heart energy. When you receive, it's willingly given to me. That's what it is. You're not taking it, you're not forcing it. So in this horsemanship, I want this horse to willingly give me what I need, not necessarily what I want. A lot of people are like, I want him to do what I want. I want him to give me what I want. What I would like to caution you is when you can actually receive something as it unfolds, this horse will willingly fill that in like water. It'll flow into you where you need it the most. If you need help in the heart, they will help you in the heart. I watch them do this with little children with cancer. I didn't train the horse to do this. I may have set the stage and the tone and facilitated some things, but these guys know how to do those things. They'll do it for you. They do it for me. They do it for children that I don't train them to do it for. Each time, each relationship, and I'm going to focus on that relationship piece, is unique and different, but they are adaptable to that. And whenever they don't have restrictions in their minds or tensions in their bodies, and I bring in another human, child or adult, these guys are already in a giving, they're already willing to give because they receive. It is a perfect balance in the micro. This horse is nature, we are nature. In the macro, the nature of the universe, it is giving and receiving, always. It's a relationship. It's a relationship of balance. Just when you breathe in air, breathe out, that's giving and receiving. It is a beautiful thing. So anytime that you're developing a relationship with anything, definitely with horses, you want to create willingness. You want to ask yourself, am I taking and keeping anything from this horse and not giving? That's how you will learn to transmute energy. The law of energy transmutation is that. Just that understanding. That's the simplest way I could say it. Just ask yourself, are you taking something and keeping it rather than giving and receiving? You want to initiate a feedback loop where you present, observe, make changes in yourself, present again to get the most desirable results. The second that horse picks up on what you're doing, oh man, it changes everything. You start ascending into a higher level of consciousness with your horse. Your heart-to-heart communication gets enhanced. You start feeling things you never felt or hadn't felt in a long time. You start thinking thoughts you hadn't thought or thought about in a long time. You start developing a higher level of consciousness, an awareness, self-discovery, self-mastery. You can create your circumstances rather than be victim of circumstances. You live in causation rather than the effect so much. It's a beautiful thing. So the ego, it wants to take and keep things. Just realize that. And then you'll have a better ability of transmuting energy into what you want, what you need, what will help you in this game of life, how to not get hurt, and how to benefit. Balancing ourselves will give you the ability to harness all these laws that I speak of in these videos. And until we know how to get our own power from nature, we will suffer. And you can release all the pain by attracting. Release the pain. Stop judging yourself so hard. Stop living in judgment. Judging others, essentially judging yourself. Golden rule, treat others as you'd want to be treated. We are the only ones that really hold judgment. We hold it in ourselves. If you're judging someone else, if I'm judging this horse, I'm judging myself. When I let go of that and I just let it flow, let it unfold, let life unfold as it is, and I present, observe, make changes, present, observe, make changes, the ego, it'll feel unnatural. I don't even know if the ego can really do it. I don't think it can, because once you start ascending, you realize that you can look down and see ego and go, wow, man, I was in a spot. I'm so thankful I'm not there. I want to share with others how to not be there too. And then you grow and you develop and you become and then you attract what you are. And I'll close with that. Thank you for watching. I know I dropped a lot of information on you. If you'd like anything more explained in greater detail, leave it in the comments. I'm starting to like the feedback. Well, I've always liked the feedback from videos, but I'm starting to really pick up on some things from people that they're seeing, and it's helping me enhance myself. I want to become better. So I love your comments. If you like the video, just comment, I like the video, and it'll help. It actually helps. It's gradual, and just know that it takes the time that it takes, and enjoy the time that it takes. I've just been very blessed to have beautiful horses. These guys are just amazing to help guide me into becoming what we are right here, right now. And I accept life as it is, and I say yes to life. I say yes to whatever unfolds, because I realized what happens for me. It's not necessarily happening to me. And I love that. I love that. And guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it explained the law of energy transmutation better. And till next time, bye-bye.